Hello everyone, welcome to Tuesday Night Lights, aka Chrissy's Crafty Chat. Hope you're having a fabulous day. I'm really excited to be here now and sharing this Tuesday night with you. Just see if anyone else is watching. I'll see if I can get the comments up and check that I'm not all alone. What a fabulous Tuesday. It's a bit rainy here in Brisbane. And for our viewers in the United States, let me wish you happy 4th of July or happy Independence Day. And I'm sorry I missed the Canadian Happy Canada Day, which was on the weekend. So sorry about that. Let's see. Okay, let's see who we've got watching tonight. Hello, Jodie. Lovely to see you. Oh, it's freezing in Adelaide. It's always freezing in Adelaide this time of year. Hope you're having a really great week. Who else have we got watching tonight? Oh, Glenda L. Oh, I hope you're not too wet up in central North Queensland. I hear it's a bit rainy up there. Okay, who else has we got here? Tonight we're going to be playing with some dies that I got last week, and it's called the Patchwork Pieces dies. Oh, Jodie, you're working out your flamingo socks, are you? I'm glad they're lovely and warm. Okay, so last week when we did the unboxing, we had, I showed you these Patchwork dies. So I thought this week I'm going to do 3 quick projects with these dies. Now I have already cut them. But yes, let's see. Oh yes, it's very wet up there, Glenda, but you're loving it. Oh, that's great. Yeah, we needed some good rain. It rained here a lot of the day. All right, so just show you the patchwork pieces that I cut out. I've cut out 3 pieces of did I bring all 3 up? No, I didn't. I don't know if I did or not. Let's have a look. So when you cut out your patchwork pieces, dies, you just need a nice piece of cardstock. Not cardstock. Well, you can use cardstock, but I'm using a pattern paper. And I'm using the Hello Irresistible paper. And I wish I could tell you what size it is. Let's see. It's just, when I cut it out, I just cut it from a piece that was 3 1/4 by 4 1/2 inches. Okay? Okay, so I've cut out one. Now I'm using the paper from, that's an online exclusive called the, I think it's Hello Irresistible, and I've got 3 different papers. I'm going to mix them up a bit. I'm hoping that's the right way. Yeah. I just should have put them back together when I was here. So I've sort of got a if you drop them, like I did on the way up the stairs, you might have to work out the way to put them back together. Irresistible Blooms, that's it. Yeah, hello, Irresistible Blooms, that's that. All part of the same suite, and it's an online extra. And it's just so pretty. I'm just piecing it back together so you can see how the papers look. So what it does, when you cut them out with these lovely dies, you get to you get like a stitch shape. Right. Now, this is my first time playing with it, so Tuesday nights I usually reserve for just having a bit of a play with new products. So we've got that colour, so it's not all together. I sort of wrecked this one, but it'll work. And this is another side. I'm thinking that's a base piece. Yeah. So yeah, don't drop them on your way up the stairs, whatever you do, because they're a bit hard to match up if you don't know how they go. Let's see. It's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle trying to get them back together. Anyway, we've got some pieces here. And we seem to be missing some pieces on that one, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, the other thing that I've got is some layers. So I'm picking 3 of the colours from that paper. So I've picked the Daffodil Delight. Oh, hello Vicky. Hi Megan. Well, I'm starting right on time tonight. I hope you're well. Okay, so I've got 3 pieces of, these are going to be layers underneath these things, and these are 3, well, I've actually cut them all to different sizes, 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. I think this one's a little bit smaller, like 1/8 of an inch smaller. So we've got Lost Lagoon. Oh, is it bucketing down? Oh, yeah, it's a bit, it stopped bucketing a little while ago, and I've got 3 card bases as well. I've got some bits of white, like lots of white. Now, what I thought I would do is I would start with just putting together, I don't know if I'm doing 2 or 3 cards, but let's start with putting together our little stitched pieces, right? And then we'll do some stamping and make a card. So this is relatively easy. I've got a brand new thing of liquid glue. I like using this when you're doing some paper. They call this paper piecing. I like using that glue when you're doing paper piecing, not piercing. Piercing would be putting holes in it. Just because it's oh, hi Glenda S as well. Oh, we've got both Glendas. Or maybe 3 cards, Jodie. We'll see how we go. Now, I didn't cut this one all the way through. Okay, but that's all right. So, you've got to make sure that when you're doing them, you actually cut them all the way through. And what I'm going to do for this one, I'm just going to take out every second piece. All right. Look, I don't know how easy or hard this is going to be. Sorry, I should say going to be. My mother would be appalled if I could gunner. Lucky she's not watching. Alright, so I'm taking out every second piece. And then what we can do is that's just going to form our base. Now make sure that you run it through your die cutting machine twice. I didn't. So let's just see how we go. So just grab and I'm using I'm going to go back to using my usual end, my thick end of my glue, because that smooths it over a bit more evenly. And I've got my trusty little silicone craft mat. Okay. So I'm going to start with this piece here. And I'm not going to stick it down really hard because I don't know exactly how it's going to look. So I really like this paper. Now it's currently available on online extras, but I don't know if later in the week, on like Thursday when they release the new online extras, if it will still be available. So if you really like this paper, you need to get it before the 6th, because I can't guarantee that it'll be available after the 6th. It may be, it may be not. We don't know. That all just depends on Stampin' Up, I guess. Right. I'm going to grab some other pieces that I've got here and try and fill in some blanks. So why I cut 3 pieces of paper is so that I could just pop in, and this is why I haven't stuck it down properly, although I stuck that better than I should have. So I grab one of my scissors. So you want to, the tip here is get the bottom 2 right first. That's what I think I should have done. And this could be messy, and I could wreck it. Let me just lift that up. I'm not worried that I've torn the back of it, because it will it'll just be stuck down. And I need to make sure that the bottom 2 that you want to get right are straight. Bit of a mess here this morning, or this evening. See, I don't even know what time of day it is. It's been one of those days. And I know that one is a bit crooked. Cut a bit crooked. how's everyone's week going so far? Has anyone done anything exciting? Oh, hello, Vicky from New Zealand. Oh, it's lovely to see you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in about 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weeks, I think. Need to move them over. Oh dear. I might just trim down the cardstock on this one because I'm messing it up well and truly. But hey, when you haven't played, when you don't do a run through first, you can't expect it to be perfect, can you? All right. Okay. I'm going to grab another piece from this section over here. And so what's everyone up to? No, that's not the piece I want. I want this piece. Now, gee, I think this is one of those projects that you have to have a bit of time to make sure that you've got everything in the right spot. And I recommend that before you stick it down, like I did stupidly, you have a bit of a plan. I'm going to trim bits off so we'll be quite okay. All right. I had the best day yesterday. I went on a scavenger hunt with a fabulous little 8-year-old and his mum. So that was pretty cool. And we had lunch and then today I've been working on my blog. So, well, welcome back, Megan. Haven't missed much. I just messed it up already. Okay. Oh, so Jodie, you've been knitting and you got your car back. Oh, well, I'm hoping to get my car fixed on Thursday. Really hoping they can fix it and it's not going to cost me a fortune. But it is 10 years old and it is a European car, so it might not, I might not be so lucky. All right. So the two Glendas are going to catch up. That would be lovely. I hope the roads aren't too muddy for you when you go up north, Glenda's. I think that, I know it's, people are out west are waiting to get to Birdsville and the Big Red Bash. And the roads are pretty awful out there at the moment. Yes. Oh, hello, Hunter. Lovely to see that you're still awake. Oh, that's right, it's school holidays, so that's why you're still awake. I thought it was, well, although it is still reasonably early. I hope you've got a good story picked out for Dad to read to you tonight. And he's loving the cards so far. Oh, well, it's bright anyway. All right. So, got lots of these little bits and I'm just popping them together. Now, last week I played with the Layering Leaves stamp set, but I only used the sentiments. So tonight I thought we could have a look and see how it works with the punch. And I had thought of doing a sketch challenge tonight, but I got caught up doing admin. Oh, it's Mum's turn on Tuesdays. Ah, that's so good. I miss reading stories to my daughter. I really do. There's something so nice about cuddling up, especially on a rainy night with a good book. And although one of her favourite stories was about Linda Wanda and her terrible underpants. And it was a dreadful story, but it made her giggle because everybody got to see Linda Wanda's terrible underpants. Yes, so I do miss those days. Yes. But it's nothing like sitting down on a rainy day and reading a good book. It was a great book, Jodie. Kids love books that have got flashes, like she flashed underpants to the whole world. And it was just so funny. And because her mum told her not to wear her terrible underpants, and she did. So, and her other favourite book when she was much littler was the Guess How Much I Love You, with the little nut brown hair and the big nut brown hair. And my mum bought her a version of it, which was in French, so we learnt how to read it in French as well. So that was lovely. Yeah, poop and snot and fart, yes. But even grown men find farts and poops funny, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. All right, so you can see when I put this together, I didn't quite have it in the right place. So, and that's okay. We can fix that. We're going to trim this down, but let's try one of the other colours. I might go with, what other colour bits have I got? I'm sure I had a, oh, there it is. I'll try a piece of Lost Lagoon. I just think the yellow is probably going to be a bit bright. Peekaboo for number 2. Oh dear, they actually have a book called that. Oh, that's funny. At least it's not the Wonky Donkey. I love that book, but it's hilarious. I do like making fun folds, Megan. I do, very much so. Let's lay this one out first before we start sticking it all down. That might be a bit easier. Yeah. Yeah, fun folds and paper piercing and stuff like that is lots of, it's just a bit different. I do try and include in my classes a fun fold, because I think people get a bit tired of, a bit tired of just doing a plain easy card. Now this card would be great if you had lots of scraps. All right, so if you've got little scraps of paper, you could do a whole kaleidoscope of, well, that's a big word for tonight, different pattern papers, and as long as they've got the same sort of base colours, I think it would work really well. So yeah, I do like fun folds. I like easy fun folds. Like, I was talking to my friend this morning and she asked me what my stamping style is, but I have no clue at the moment. It has changed so significantly, and I really don't know how I would define my style, so I'm choosing not to. I'm just popping these on so I know round about where they need to go. I think that one will go there. I used to do lots and lots of grunge. Oh, that's good, Megan. Love super easy cards. That's what we need. Yeah, I used to do lots of grungy cards that would take me hours and hours to make, but they're not really practical to demonstrate on a Tuesday night lights, and they're really, they're a labour of love. So sometimes I think you are best leaving those. And but I have to tell you what I did today. I was about to ink up my, I knew I had to ink up my Daffodil Delight ink pad, because it was, I knew it was really, really dry. Anyway, so I get out what I think was my, what I thought was my Daffodil Delight ink pad, and I put Daffodil Delight ink all over it, only to discover that it was the Lemon Lolly ink pad that I was inking up with the Daffodil Delight ink. So I guess you can imagine there were a few interesting words uttered, and yeah, I'll put those away. Then but I grabbed out my little rubber gloves, and I was horrified. And I grabbed out my disposable gloves, and I went into the laundry, and I washed all the ink out of my ink pad. And so I'm just letting it dry. And then I discovered I didn't follow my own rule. And normally when I order the ink pads, I order the ink refills at the same time. And that's my thing. I always say to people, make sure you order your ink refills at the same time. You don't want to be crafting at midnight and run out of ink. And yeah, but guess who didn't order that ink refill? And it's not really that, it wasn't messy to rinse it out. Like, it took just a couple of minutes, and I just got to dry it out. So if you've got a ink pad that's got that sort of crustiness on it, you can rinse that out too, just in some warm water. And it's completely clean. There is no ink. It took me, 5 minutes to run it out. And so now I'm just waiting for it to dry, and then I'll just re-ink it when I get the new ink refill. But I couldn't believe that I didn't have an ink refill for it. But I was, in a hurry, and so there's 2 messages there. One is make sure you double check before you start re-inking that you're re-inking the right ink pad with the right ink. I did think about, I'll just buy a new one, but ink pads are not cheap. And it was brand new. And luckily I discovered it as I had put the first 10 drops on it and thought, oh, well, I can fix that. And so if you've got one of those crusty ink pads, and so if you can't afford to buy a new ink pad, this would be something that you could do to, because it's much cheaper to buy an ink refill than it is an ink pad, if that makes sense. So, yes, I wasn't about to throw away a perfectly good ink pad just because and a new one, just because I made a mistake. So, good night, Hunter. Yeah, so, yes, when the online extras go live on Thursday, I will be adding an ink pad and an ink refill to my order. Might be adding a few ink refills because I realise I don't have any of the new colours. Only the in colours. Yeah. So so that was my little dilemma today. My heart sunk and I felt sick when I did it. And then I had remembered that a friend of mine had got it looked like a crust on her ink pads, so she just washed them out, and I thought, well, surely that would work, and it did. So yeah, but I wouldn't wash them out. Like, I washed it out in the laundry tub, and I made sure I had disposable gloves on just in case, so because I didn't want to have yellow hands. I always buy my ink refills because I use them not only for re-inking Megan, but I use them to put in the little spritzer bottles, and if I'm doing some water painting with them, it's much easier to dab a bit of ink onto a block or a palette than it is to try and squeeze the ink pads and get the ink in the lid. So it's not just for re-inking. All right, this one's looking a bit better than the other one. So we'll just stick to our 2 tonight. And I haven't done them very straight. So what I would do, now I've thought about this, I would have a piece of cardstock exactly the same size as this, as the die, and then that might make it easier to put it together. So it might just be a plain piece. Let's I'm not going to do the other one. Let's find the lid for that. All right. I'll trim that down in a minute. Now, we've got our layering leaves stamp set. So, I'm thinking we're going to do some of these leaves and see how they punch. I've got a piece of scrap. Let's start with this piece of scrap. You could use press and seal. That is a great idea, Megan. See, I knew I liked you for a reason. I knew that you would come up with a good idea. So some press and seal, or you could sort of tape them, I don't know. All right, we're going to start out. Now in the Hello Irresistible suite, one of the colours I use is soft sea foam, so I thought we could use some of that. I'm going to put I don't have my foam mat here, so funny how things go missing when you share an office. So I might have stamped that the wrong way. Let me guess. So you need to make sure that you stamp it the right way. I stamped mine the wrong way, but luckily I can just cut off these bits of, because I'm using a bit of scrap. Just cut off those bits. Now this is a two-step stamping one. So there are some leaves. Now don't pull them too hard because they might break, like I did with my ladybug stamp. The dots on my ladybug. So I'm just going to stamp this off on a piece of scrap. Let's see. Hopefully I haven't got my head in the way. Ooh, that's pretty good. Let's see, we'll just see if we can line that up. Oh, yes. Oh. Some days you can get the punch in the exactly the right place, and other days it's a little bit more difficult. It's not too bad. All right, so we'll do another one. So I'm going to do a few of these leaves. So this is, what did we call it? The layering leaves stamp set. Oops, how about we stamp that a second time? So Megan, you probably could use that pecan pie one for gingerbread. I think it's very much like cinnamon cider, just a darker shade. So that might be an option for your Christmas decorating. Hopefully we have a gingerbread man stamp in the next catalogue. I don't know whether we will, but it'd be so good if we did, because I love gingerbread men or gingerbread people. All right. Let's see. There's another stamp that's a little bit different. I'm going to use all 3 different stamps. So if you don't have your foam mat, your silicone craft mat provides enough of enough give for you to get a fairly crisp image. Okay. Right, stamp. Got all sorts of bits and pieces here. I'm trying to use scraps, but well, that looks like a card insert. Won't use that one. That one looks a bit skinnier. Ooh, lucky we got a magical other side to that one. It's a little bit blurry. Ooh, I got a different foam mat over here. Let's try that one. Let's see if that makes a difference. That's the insert from my blocks. It might be because I just re-inked that ink pad today. At least I got the soft seafoam one right. Yeah, so what's everyone's plans for the rest of the week? I'm housebound because I'm waiting for my car to get fixed. You don't realise how much you use your car or how many days a week you pop out and do stuff. For the rest of my week, I'll be prepping for our Christmas in July class and prepping for our August class and making some swaps for backstage in Las Vegas. And I'm doing a class in Las Vegas with Kevin Thiessen, and he was the first male demonstrator that Stampin' Up had, and so I'm doing a class with him in Las Vegas, so I'm excited about that. All right. Let's try this third leaf, see if this one looks any better. And I will clean these when we finish. And yeah, I've got a bit of waste here, but I'm not particularly worried about that. And Kevin is really great, Megan. I'm really looking forward to meeting him. There's 75 people doing this class, so I don't know how I'll go. I hope I can keep up. And I hope I don't get overwhelmed, but my buddy Shani will be with me, so that'll be good. Scott is the other guy who's doing the class, and he's really lovely too. And I'm hoping to catch up with Connie and get Connie Stewart again. And Sharon Armstrong I'm hoping to catch up with, because she's a Texas stamper and she's just delightful. Yes, Scott is lovely. It was so helpful when because it's a bit hard when they use different apps and stuff to what we use for their classes, like class payments. So they were so helpful when we were trying to work out how to do an international payment. And, yeah. So I'm very, very excited to be, and it's a Memories and More class, and so I haven't done a Memories and More class for a long time. Well, I taught a class using some Memories and More at the beginning of the year, our perpetual calendar class, which was fun. All right, so I've got some leaves. We want to do, get out some crumb cake. Hi, Kim. Lovely to see you. And with the crumb cake, I'm just going to do these little whatchamajigs. What are they? They're sort of like little flowers. And there's two different types of those too. So we'll just that'd be nice. I wouldn't mind doing a blending class with Jay. Megan, did you see his blending that he did for Creativity Now? That was interesting. It was certainly a different way than what I would have done it, but everyone does things differently. So all right, so we need to make sure when we're stamping this one, we're going to stamp it this way so it goes the same way as the, so I'm going to do two like that. And I know that my paper doesn't have crumb cake in it, but it's okay. It's a nice neutral, and you can always add neutrals to a project. And I'm just taking my time. And my husband's probably downstairs thinking, will she ever hurry up? Because I'm starving. Because he only got home from work about 7:15 tonight. So I'm sure he is starving, but he can always eat and then I'll eat later. All right, and I've got one more I want to do. It's a different stamp. I get so excited when you didn't do Creativity Now. Oh, Oh, you're back, Vicky. That was a short story. Oh. Do you just read a chapter or do you read a whole book? Or I think he has, Megan, I think he has shown the horse that he did for on Creativity Now on his blog. He did it with one of the new online extras that's coming out this week, with the sleigh. I think it's called Open Sleigh. Yeah. Okay, all right, I've got lots of little scraps. So next thing that we want to do is I've got some circles. Well, I haven't actually got some circles. I've got my circle punch. And I'm only doing 2 cards, as I said. I decided not to do the third one. And I am going to do my sentiment. So let's do one sentiment on one of them in Lost Lagoon. And we'll do the other one in Pretty Peacock. So I'm thinking we'll just use the Thinking of You. I think that would be a nice one. Where did I put it? I haven't used that sentiment yet, so that would be nice. But before I stamp it, I've got a circle that I've cut from the Stylish Shapes with the largest shape. That's lovely, Kim. It's nice to catch up with them. That would have been lovely. And I've got a Lost Lagoon one. I want to try something a little bit different. I don't know if this is going to work. I've got this squiggly circle. I don't even know what it's called. I believe it's still current. And oh yeah, it fits inside one of those. And the other one, I'm hoping this will fit inside. See if this fits. This is a circle. Oh, just fits. All right. So let's start with our Lost Lagoon sentiment. We're going to say, thinking of you. I'm just going to stamp that. Stamp it. Oops, am I out of the frame? Sorry. Stamp it towards the center, but to the left, like vertically centered, but to the left. Right. Should I do it that way? And then the other one, I'm going to stamp it in some Pretty Peacock. Just stamp it off so it's got no... So when you're going from a lighter colour to a darker colour, you don't necessarily have to clean it, just stamp off any excess ink. I'm going to pop that. I'll make sure it's inked up really well. Pop that down to the bottom right of the circle. Okay. Now, I also know that I want to put, I've done my stamping, I know I want to put a bit of ribbon on, but I don't have any ribbon up here that is the right colour. So I have got some of this vanilla ribbon with the gold bits in it. So I'm going to grab my Pretty Peacock Stampin' Blend and just quickly colour that in. The gold will still stand out. So you can colour any white or vanilla ribbon with your stamping blends, well, almost any. So if you don't have a ribbon that's the right colour, just use your stamping blends to colour it. I'll do a little bit more. Probably won't use that much on that one bow. And on the other bow, I'll do the Lost Lagoon. And I'm using the dark colours. Whereabouts in New Zealand are they from, Kim? It's lovely over there at the moment. Well, not, it's lovely and cold. And it's also a bit of snow. Our friends have just moved to Central Otago and they said it's just beautiful. You can also colour your ribbons with your ink pads and your ring inkers as well. So let's see. I don't have my 10-second bow maker upstairs, it's one of those things that's mystically grown legs and disappeared. So I'm just gonna make a little bow this way. You should really let your stamping blend dry a bit more than what I have, but that looks pretty cute. Need to just make that a little bit longer, darker. We'll cut it off at an angle. Okay, so that's one bow. Let's see if I can make the other one a bit smaller. So what I'm doing is I'm just making 2 loops and feeding them through each, like making the sort of like a knot with the 2 loops. Just adjust the length of the, I don't want them to be too big. And when you're adjusting your bow, if you hold the knot, you can usually, if you hold it tight, you can usually adjust the little loops without having it coming undone, not like I did there. But what not to do. It's like that whole what not to wear thing. Oh, so for my people who go to Coffee, Cake and Cards, next week there's a change of venue for Coffee, Cake and Cards. We are doing it at Joe & Co.'s at near Audi on the corner of Illawina Street and Beaudesert Road. Because the sports club is renovating. So Joe messaged me today and said, yep, we're on. So we might have to be outside, but it will still be nice, and she's doing the cake at a good price, and yeah, so it won't be any more expensive than when we go to the sports club, which is so it'll be $15 per person. So that's really good. I was happy to secure that. It was getting a bit touch and go of where we were going to have coffee, cake and cards next time. Okay. All right. 2 chapters of Ninja Kid tonight. Oh, Vicky, that must be a short one. Right. So last thing I need to do is I need to trim this piece up. And I've got another piece of that colour, so we can maybe fix it. It wasn't exactly how I planned, but best laid plans of mice and men don't always work out. Yep. Right. So, yeah, I think the big tip is to have a piece of cardstock the same size. I think that would work better. All right, there we go. What I might do, bits on that yellow one. Oh, there we go. I'm going to have a yellow base on that one. All right, let's start putting this together so that lots of extra scraps here tonight. So I've got some pieces for the inside, so they're just 1/4 of an inch smaller than your card base. I'm not going to stamp them or anything like that. We're not doing anything crazy with them. I'm just going to pop them in the inside. Try and get them in straight. And I've got another one for the other colour. All right. So let's put them together. I'll just lay this on flat to the yellow. So you're going to be a bit precise when you do these, otherwise you'll end up with it looking a bit raggedly. I'm going to say it's a shabby chic quilt, maybe that's a piece of quilting. That's how I would term it. All right. So if you wanted to, you could stamp the background. Let's do that really quickly. I've got a big leaf stamp, and that's it. And I'm just going to go stamp it with some pretty peacock. It's a bit like a pinwheel. It is a bit like a pinwheel, Jodie. Some random leaves. Oh, I like a pretty peacock background. Yeah. I've always liked Pretty Peacock for Christmas cards, but I don't normally use it for other cards. Everyone's quiet tonight. You're watching something good on TV. MasterChef would just about be finished. I'm really interested to see what would happen in MasterChef, and I messed that one up, but it's okay. I can just go over it again. I'm such a MasterChef fan. I'd love to be able to cook the way they do. I'm also going to do some Pretty Peacock on this one as well. You're watching but you fell asleep because it's too warm with the heater. All right, I will put a stamp on the inside. I'm just going to do 2 leaves. Look at the mess I've made of my block. This is what happens when you use a block that's too big for your stamp. You're crafting with me. Oh, what are you making, Megan? You're doing that easy fun fold box that you're going to send me. I don't know if I like that idea that you fell asleep, Jodie. Oh, goodness. Oh, I like the Pretty Peacock on the Lost Lagoon. Ooh. I need to wipe some of this off, because I'm going to be in a right mess. What do you mean by early, Jodie? I had a call with my coach this morning, and we changed the day. So we normally have coaching calls on Wednesday morning, and normally it's at 5 a.m. my time, 2 p.m. her time. And then I couldn't remember what time it was this morning because we changed it because it's 4th of July. And anyway, so I was awake at 3 a.m. waiting for her to message me back to tell me what time it was. And it wasn't supposed to be till 6 a.m. our time, but we did it at 5 because I was awake. I messed that one up. Yeah, so I didn't go back to sleep, and so I'm really, really tired tonight. Can't understand why. But I went to bed too early last night, so that would be why I woke up so early, because I didn't want to miss my call. And also I was tired out from doing a scavenger hunt, because I don't have the same energy as an 8-year-old. All right. Okay, so we've got our background done. Oops, I forgot to stamp the inside of that card. I'll quickly do that. Okay. You can fall asleep anywhere. That is a... Well, I don't know that you have to be old to fall asleep anywhere. I remember the first time I went overseas with my husband, and that was almost 20 years ago. Second time I went overseas, and we went to China, and we had to fly to KL and then fly on to Beijing. And here he is, sleeping in the airport, and I couldn't sleep. And like we had a 5-hour layover or something like that, and I just could not sleep. But he had no problem. All right, so we're going to pop this together. As I said, I had no clue how this would turn out. Let's see if we can find some dimensionals somewhere on this desk. Oh, I've got black dimensionals, so we'll do. Yeah, he can fall asleep anywhere. And he always makes a joke when we go on a long drive. He goes, and he's driving. He goes, yeah. And if I fall asleep, and he goes, did you have a little nap? And he goes, I had a great little micro sleep. And it's like, because I'm not allowed to fall asleep when he drives. And I do try not to, but sometimes it's hard not to. But I never fall asleep when it's dark and he's driving, because I've got to keep a lookout for roos and stuff like that. Right, so got some different colours on there. Let's pop our blue one on. So Glenda's prepping for, that'll be fun, Glenda. You and Ray make such lovely cards together. Oh, you always fall asleep on road trips and you wake with it. Right, I can't sit in the back seat. I'll be sick if I sit in the back seat. Ugh. Okay. That would just be awful. Especially on mountain roads and windy roads. Ugh. And the back seat of our car doesn't have air conditioning. Well, it has air conditioning. It doesn't have any vents that go on your face, which I don't like. All right. So pop this one together. This one's not too bad. We'll just leave that the way that it is. I might put a bit, instead of using that blue, I might use the yellow one. Let's just see how that goes. Do we have a yellow circle cut? We'll have a look and see how that looks. And you can tell me what you think. So I'm using my black dimensionals because I've got some dark colours in here. I'm thinking, so do we want daffodil or do we want Lost Lagoon? Your mum lived at, from Mitchelton to Birkdale, you need a cut lunch. I'm thinking I like the Lost Lagoon better than I like the daffodil. Oh, but then now we've got daffodil. Lots of votes for daffodil. All right, I'll keep you happy. Okay, Then we're going to pick up all 3 colours of the piece. Right. Daffodil. Yeah, it is nice and bright, isn't it? And it picks up that daffodil colour. I would have used lemon lolly, but you know, that doesn't have any ink on it yet at the moment. Oh dear, I can't believe I did that. That's probably the first time I've ever done it. All right. So we're going to pop, let's see which, do 3 different leaves on this one. Now I need my glue, wherever I threw that on the desk. Let's put a little bit. So I don't quite like that one, yeah. I'm going to stick this one over the top there. And the third one, actually, that one in the middle. That up a little bit. I don't know if I need 3 leaves, but I'm doing it on that one. I'll put this up here. All right. Now, do I have a glue dot? I do. Let's see how this goes. Glue dot here. Oops. I'm going to put the darker bow that goes with our let's adjust that sizing. Just the darker bow. Maneuver them around a little bit. Should have done them a bit on a bit of a different angle, but that's okay. I can cut off some of the tail. Sorry. Stick that to my little, oops. What's it doing? It's coming undone. Cut that one a bit close. Yes, it will have bling, Jodie, definitely. That's a bit wonky, that bow now. It's like the wonky donkey. All right. I'm going to put this one. I'm only going to put 2 leaves on it. I don't think it needs all 3. that up a bit higher and more on an angle like that this time. Now, put that like that. And this one on here. Yeah. And so we'll grab another glue dot for our ribbon, because I want it to be above the words this time. I will have to adjust it a little bit, but I'm not going to trim it until I put it on the card, because I've learnt from the last time. Pull that. See, if I had my 10-second bow maker here, I would be it would be much easier. I don't think it matters if it slightly goes over the words. Trim off that tail a little bit. Make sure it goes the same direction as the other trimming. All right, so we've got these. These are online extras as well, the loose frosted dots. Pop them on. Now, so you've seen how you can use the dies to cut out. Imagine if you had to measure those and cut them all by yourself and get them exactly right, and oh, it'd be awful. Just gonna pop a glue dot there, and then I can pop one of these. What colour shall we use? Let's use the darker one. Oops. You're right, Glenda. I would never make it if if I had to do that manually. Grab another glue. Oh, let's just pop a speck of glue on one of these backings, right? Because these are too little for a glue dot. And pop that over here. I probably should have put some more yellow on that one. I'll get that one. Bit of glue, rub it in the glue. And pop that up here. So that's that. Whoops, stuck to my finger. So sorry it's a bit longer tonight because we were playing with those two. Might do some yellow this time. No, we'll stick with the peacock. Got a bit of glue on that. Pop a big one down there. I need a bit more glue. I moved my silicone mat, so that's why I'm putting the glue on the adhesive backing, just because it would work just as well. Get it off my finger. It's sticking. So try not to get glue on your fingers. Makes it so much harder to work with. So you'll have to tell me which one you like better. Do you like the one with the pretty peacock base or the one with the Lost Lagoon base? I think that they're not bad cards. I don't know that I do them as a batch card. But I think they're quite pretty. Let's pop that there. You can feel my glue fingers from there. I know. I hate glue, getting glue on my fingers, but I have to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Seal and Seal Plus. I think, or tape. No, tape is just too much mess, but Seal and Seal Plus I seem to not have the knack for them like I used to with the snail. But I wasn't a fan of fast fuse either, so I'm a creature of habit, I think. All right, and yes, I have wipes here. And I'm wiping my fingers as we speak. So there, those are our 2 cards made with the Patchwork Pieces dies and the Layering Labels stamp set. So I really like that stamp set. Love the sentiments. I should have used the little... should have used more of it, the spots and things on it, but it's all right. So there we go. They're our cards for tonight. Yeah, I'm too heavy-handed with them as well, Megan. I do like the Seal Plus better than the Seal, though. Yeah. So there. So just a reminder that on Thursday, the 6th, there is new online extras. Bonus days start. So that means that for every $90 you spend, I think it's 90, you get a $9 voucher to spend in August. And then also there is the clearance rack refresh on Thursday as well. So Thursday is a big day, and if you need anything, just let me know. If you've got any questions about the projects that we made tonight or anything else on my blog, or that comes up in my newsletter, let me know. All right, everyone have a good night. I'm going to go and have some dinner and actually have a chance to talk to my husband. So, yeah, have a great week and we'll see you next Tuesday night. Bye for now and happy creating.